Hey guys, this is North back again with another video. Today's video is going to be my 10 favorite pickups of 2021. Now this video was inspired by another YouTuber, The Fragrance Apprentice, so shout out to him. Go over to his channel if you haven't checked out any of his reviews. Now, I split mine up 5 warmer weather fragrances and 5 cooler weather fragrances just to try to diversify it. I didn't realize that doing these lists would be so difficult to try to narrow down, especially when you have like a larger collection, but we'll see what I came up with. Now, as I go through these fragrances, for the sake of time, I will not read off the notes like I normally do. I'll put them up here this time. But the first one is going to be, properly named number 1 from the house of Rosendo Mateu. This is bergamot, tea tree, and sandalwood. This is an awesome summertime fragrance. It has 2 of my favorite notes to cool myself off in the hotter weather, and that is bergamot. I love bergamot and citruses and fragrances, and I also love, this is a new love for me, which is the note of tea leaves in fragrances. So this is an awesome one. Number 1 from Rosendo Mateu. Next up is from the house of Mugler, and this is Over the Musk. Now, Over the Musk is got to go down as one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I do love white musk fragrances. I did do a video about my top 5 white musk fragrances. This was at the top of that list. This isn't just a soapy white musk fragrance. It has ambrette in it. It's just a beautiful fragrance. I was able to even pick up a backup bottle of this because I really like this so much. So again, this is Mugler, Over the Musk. The next warm weather fragrance on my list comes from the house of Nichane. Now, I do have a number of Nichane fragrances, and that was something else I had to narrow down because I only wanted to choose one from each house. And from here, I chose Hachivat. Now, Hachivat is definitely very hyped in the community. This is, I believe, rightfully so. This is an awesome fragrance. It's supposed to smell similar to Creed Ventus. I don't really get that because I haven't really tried an authentic Creed Ventus, and I guess the batch number differs as well. But this is an straight to Parfum, so with that pineapple and the birchwood or whatever else is in it, it lasts all day. This is an awesome fragrance as well. The fourth warm weather fragrance that I'm going to mention is from the Tom Ford private line. This is Rive d'Ambre. This one was like a sneaker hit for me because this is something I looked over. There's one seller that I know, he has a number of testers, and this is one I never gave a second look because of the name. I was just sort of tired of amber fragrances at the moment. I wanted something warmer because it was, for warmer weather because it was getting hot, and I didn't know that this one was. I didn't even look up the notes until I came across a reviewer that reviewed this. I believe AC Smells Good, so check his channel out as well. So he reviewed this one, and I ran out and I tested it, and I agreed with his assessment of it, and I was able to get me a tester bottle for an extremely cheap price. But again, this one was a sleeper hit, especially for the spring and the summertime. The last warm weather fragrance that I'm going to mention is from the house of Christian Dior, and this is Sauvage Parfum. Now this one, as you see, it has the black label, so this is, I believe, the 2012 version of it. I got the 2018 as well, but I was completely ecstatic when I came across this 2012 version with the black label, so I had to pick it up. The difference between this and the 2018 or whatever the other year of it is that this one has Myrrhe in it. This one is also discontinued, so I'm always on the hunt for like great discontinued fragrances. This one with the Myrrhe note added in makes it a little bit more versatile, meaning it's not just, you can wear either of them or any fragrance all year round, but this one isn't just restricted to being like considered a summertime type of fragrance. So this one was an awesome pickup for me this year. I'm very excited to have it in my collection. Last 5, these are the ones for the cooler weather. This one to me was a little bit more difficult than the warmer weather ones because I believe I just gravitate more towards the notes that are in what are considered cooler weather fragrances. I've been on, the incense kick. If you saw my favorite incense fragrance video, and now I'm getting a lot into benzoins and other type of resins. So you'll see a lot of that here. And also tobacco is something, these tobacco fragrances are always something else that I'm looking into as well. So let's see what 5 I came up with to finish off the list. The first one on the list is going to be another sleeper hit for me because I wasn't too interested in the Aramis Calligraphy collection. I did get the Calligraphy Rose because that's the one that's most talked about. But to me, the sleeper hit and the winner for me is the Calligraphy Saffron. This one for me is up there. And all of the Calligraphy collection are discontinued, but you can still get them, on eBay or whatnot. They're where I live. They're just flooding the streets with them. There's so many. I got this one for like $30, So, but this is just an awesome, sweet saffron fragrance. This is just so good. It's hard to describe. So, definitely Calligraphy Saffron is got to be on my list of favorite pickups of 2020. Next on the list is from the Armani Privé collection. This is Myrrhe Impériale. In Arabic, I believe they call it Myrrhe or Myrrhe. So I'm getting mixed up. This one for me was a must-have. When I smelled this, I said, I have to add it in my collection. So I finally got a chance to do that, and I did so. This one, unfortunately, I believe is also discontinued, but this one is also still available. They still have it at different boutiques and whatnot. So if you're into myrrhe or fragrances or different resins and benzoins, to me this is just a winner all the way around. Again, I will put up the notes for all of these in here, but this is up there as far as my favorite pickups of all time. When I started this video, I said I didn't want to duplicate houses, so I broke that promise because I actually have 2 from the same house, but I have to put these on here. And this is from the house of Diptyque. This one is Volutes. Volutes is a sweet tobacco fragrance. This one at the time, and even now, because the other one that I'll mention, I haven't even worn it. You had a full wearing of it. This one is probably my favorite tobacco fragrance. It's also my favorite Diptyque at the moment. This is the Eau de Parfum concentration. If I were to do a list of, they have these lists where you can only keep 10 or only keep 5 or something like that. This would definitely have to end up on that list. To me, this is just, heads above the rest when it comes to tobacco fragrances. I'm going to stay on the house of Diptyque because this is the last one, and this is the most recent one that I got in. I want to do a little video about my experience of actually getting this fragrance in my hand, but I finally got it. This is a Benjoin Bohème by Diptyque. This is from their 34 line. I'm actually not too familiar with the 34 line. I was only pretty much interested in getting this one because it has Benjoin in the name. And so I definitely want to check it out. I was pleasantly surprised by this. When I first got it, my initial impression of it was that it was going to be resinous, leaning more towards like the frankincense side or the incense side of it. I didn't know that it was going to be sweet. I didn't know much about benzoin until I started, just researching more of it. And it has a sweet vanilla type of touch to it. They usually do add vanilla to the fragrances to make it to complement it, and that's just awesome. This is one I haven't had a full wearing of, but this is definitely my favorite pickup of 2021 because I went through so much to sort of get this, and this is a very hard fragrance to get a hold of, and it's not one that is discontinued, but it's just one that is difficult to get. Last on the list is another fragrance that I haven't had a full wearing of. This is something I recently purchased, but from testing it, I know that it's going to be just up there on my list of favorites in general. So with that being said, it's one of my favorite pickups of 2021, and this is from Yves Saint Laurent. This is the only one that I own. This is from their private line collection. This is Caftan. This is considered an incense benzoin fragrance. This one is sweet as well. Now, when I say that these are sweet, It's the sweetness of the benzoin and the vanilla together, but it's not a gourmand fragrance. These are not this one and the one I mentioned before are not fragrances that necessarily make you want to eat something. They don't taste like desserts or smell like desserts actually. But this is, after incense, these resins, benzoin type fragrances. These are the next uh, note and style of fragrances that I'll be obsessed with in the near future. I just can't wait till a time where it cools down and I'm able to really enjoy it. I am enjoying some of these other ones in the house, after I shower, lounging around the house and things like that. And I really do enjoy them. I was testing Grand Soir by MFK the other day. Speaking of MFK, the reason I even know about this fragrance is because a random viewer commented asking me certain questions about fragrances that I had picked up from one of my haul videos, and he mentioned Caftan. I said, I haven't heard of Caftan. Does it remind you of whatever fragrance that was being mentioned? He said, no, this one smells exactly like Grand Soir. So I was intrigued because I had tested Grand Soir and I really liked it, but it's not something that I can really find discounted. I don't think this smells exactly like Grand Soir, but it is a awesome benzoin fragrance. I'd have to put them side by side to see what the similarities or differences was, but it didn't really put me like directly in the mind of it. But this one, I would not have known about this fragrance had that person not commented on my video. So I'm, very grateful for him to comment about it and to give the suggestion. Other than that, I wouldn't even have checked out this fragrance, and I'm very happy I did. It ended up on my list out of however many fragrances I've bought in 2021. And that's it. Those are my 10 favorite fragrance pickups of 2021. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope there are some on here that are also on your list. If not, I hope there are some that you want to check out and definitely test and maybe get your hands on. Please leave a comment about what are some of your favorite pickups of 2021. As I said about Caftan, I never even would have heard about this fragrance or known about this fragrance had that person not, been open enough to even just leave a comment about it and ask my feedback about something else. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you if you follow the channel so that I can continue to create content. Right now I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, so that's my first milestone. If you could help me get there, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.